Prime Minister Modi, who is on a pre-poll blitz, showed confidence that the BJP will cross the mark of 370 seats in the Lok Sabha elections. He stated that the National Democratic Alliance, the NDA, a group of BJP and its allies, has to achieve the target of 400 seats in these elections, and the BJP will have to cross the mark of 370. Speaking at the BJP National Convention 2024 in Delhi, he mocked the opposition leaders and said that they are also raising slogans of NDA Sarkar 400 Par. He laid out a plan for the next 100 days and said that the party's goal is to unite and engage with every new voter. Beneficiary in every sector have to be communicated with, and every community has to be engaged, is what the Prime Minister said. Now, NDA had already crossed 353 mark in 2019 elections, and this year they have a lofty goal of 400. Certain key leaders of the opposition such as Nitish Kumar, Jayant Singh, Ashok Chavan have already jumped ships. Rumours of Kamal Nath and Manish Tiwari deflecting are also afloat at this point in time. It is enough for the NDA to sail past 400 is the big question. What else do they need to accomplish their ambitious goals? Before we move forward with this discussion, let's listen in to what the Prime Minister said.
लेकिन भाई और बहनों, सारे लक्ष्यों की प्राप्ति के लिए पहली शर्त है सरकार में भाजपा की जोरदार वापसी। आज विपक्ष के नेता भी एनडीए सरकार 400 पार के नारे लगा रहे हैं। और एनडीए को 400 पार कराने के लिए भाजपा को 370 का माइलस्टोन पार करना ही होगा।
Sumit Peer, senior political commentator, with us on this discussion. Mr. Savi Rodriguez, BJP leader, and last but not the least, Pooja Tripathi, Congress spokesperson, also with us on the show. Pooja, I'll begin with you. Well, the Bharatiya Janata Party is extremely confident, and the Prime Minister reiterated once again that the opposition is also yielding to the fact or admitting the fact कि अब की बार 400 par. How do you see this situation, and how do you see this equation from a practical point of view? We can all be aspirational, we can all wear our opposition hats, but if you are going to be objective, do you really think that the opposition has a chance in 2024 against the NDA?
We need aspirational pointers, okay, but today I want to talk about some figures, some statistics on your show. I want to show this picture of Kanpur railway station just 2 days back, where 50 lakh people applied for some 60,000 jobs. That's when today Prime Minister Modi in his National BJP Executive Workers Convention, he talked that the next 2024 Sarkar would be for poor youth and women. I'll just pinpoint some of the stats, some of the glaring facts that stare at the face of this government. An RTI, a day before, an RTI disclosed that FCI has disclosed that cost of implementing Modi ji's face on one ration bag is 12,375 rupees. And I'm talking just about Rajasthan. 1.08 crore bags were only distributed in Rajasthan, equaling to 13 crores. If we take into account 28 states and 27 states and 8 union territories, this would actually reach up to more than 500 crores. This when government is stalling, is not ready to give MSP to farmers, is taking across every kind of diversionary tactics, violence, tear gas, everything just to stop farmers from raising their legit demands of MSP. To talk about youth, the PLFS survey has said that 44% youth are unemployed below graduation, 25 years of age. 44%. Now, the disastrous economic policy and the cryonism has led to shrinking of the formal economic sector in Modi government. What we see through Rojgar Melas, what we see through this PR stunt called Rojgar Melas, the Prime Minister and the members of, and the Chief Minister and the members of Cabinet distributing a few thousand already sanctioned post, while 45% of youth is unemployed in this country. I'll talk about women. In 2014, they came into promises of undoing the wrongs of UPA government when it comes to women's security. In 2019, they again raised ki bahut hua, Nari Parvar, Abki Bar Modi Sarkar, and the National Crime Record Bureau stats say that there has been 42.96% increase in crimes against women. The Nirbhaya funds remain unutilized. You talked about periodic labor force survey of women. Women have reduced to 42% of women are out of the formal labor force. You talk about Ujjwala scheme, taking them out of the smokeless environment. 9.6% beneficiaries took no refill. 56.5% of beneficiaries took not more than that subsidized
You mentioned the Pooja, you mentioned the MSP as well, but it's a proven documented fact that the demands that have been made by the farmers were not even acceptable to the Congress party about 14 years ago as well. So how can you expect this government to yield to the demands that the Congress itself had said was not plausible considering the economic situation of the country? In fact, I want Sumit P to come in on this and respond to what Pooja has said. Of course, Sumit, the concern that Pooja is obviously talking about at this point in time is unemployment. Shubh Malhotra, Aam Aadmi Party spokesperson, also joins us at this point in time. But Sumit, go ahead.
See, Vineet, Congress loves this figure of unemployment, and with Dr. Poojaji, we had various debates on this. Now, the problem is, if they consider the problem is same, Bhai Pradhan Mantri ne kuch hazar chithiyan banti. For them, the definition of employment is an appointment letter. But they don't understand by that virtue, I'm not working for anywhere. I'm perpetually unemployed. Right. So I think Savio is not working anywhere. Nobody employs him. He's also perpetually unemployed. And there will be millions of people who are watching us who do not have this appointment letter. We are all perpetually unemployed and unemployable. So as per Poojaji's definition, wellness economics is opportunities to earn, and we all make our livelihoods because we all pay our taxes. If we don't have an income, I'm not employed, then how I'm paying the tax? Where does the money come from? For them, anybody who's in business, for anybody who's running a small business, for anybody who is doing any economic activity which generates money and income and revenue is not considered as unemployment. That's point number one. So you cannot fight that something which is in them. Regarding the MSP, Vineet, if they are so much into MSP, wherever there is a Congress Sarkar, for example, Karnataka, what stops Rahul Gandhi from announcing कल से ये सारी शर्तें कर्नाटका में हम लागू करेंगे and we will announce them and let them implement in Karnataka and let's see how long, what day happens in 2-3 years, then we can talk of a national level. And you rightly said 14 years back, they said these things are not sustainable, we are not going to do it. So likewise for the Aam Aadmi Party, what stops, because most of these Kisans are from Punjab, so what stops Mr. Maan, which I have great respect for, as the CM of Punjab, let him say कि भाई ये सारी शर्तें मैं मान लूंगा. Why don't you, what Shastri ji rightly said, the charity begins from home. So why don't you start implementing it? Why don't you start paying it for 3-4 years? Then we'll come to other points. Then another thing is that Poojaji gives us all the numbers of this employment, that employment. Poojaji, let me give you some numbers. 1.8 से 4 trillion GDP हुआ, भारत में कुछ नहीं हो रहा, everything has shrunk, right? Your foreign exchange reserve has reached 630 billions, भारत में कुछ नहीं हो रहा, everything has shrunk. Startups got $36 billion of FDI, भारत में कुछ नहीं हो रहा, everything has shrunk. I think your exports are at $770 billion, भारत में कुछ नहीं हो रहा, everything has shrunk. Now if you look at the export of medicines is all-time high. If you look at the space, if you look at hydrocarbons, if you look at energy produced, if you look at the solar, we are number one solar producing energy in the world. Yet Bharat ne kuch nahi kiya. We are exporting medicines to 200 countries. Everything has crumbled under Modi. Now, these are some of the hardcore facts. LPG concentration from 65 years, 48% now to 98%. 54 crores people got insurance. Modi ne kuch nahi kiya. And in PM Awas Yojana, there were 3 crore homes given and 65% of them were given to Modi. भारत ने कुछ नहीं किया. 54 करोड़ लोगों को इंश्योरेंस मिला, कुछ नहीं मिला. उज्ज्वला, प्रज्वला, शौचालय and all, I'm not even counting them. So if nothing is happening, how is your GDP increasing? If everything is shrinking, how is your PPP? How your number third with PPP? If nothing is happening, who is giving you $630 billion in the foreign exchange reserve? Don't tell me there's a press at Amit Shah's house where in the night he is printing dollars and सुबह जाके RBI में जमा करा देता, and then the RBI tells you, oh, FDI आ गया. If that is a scam that is happening, then you should highlight it. If there is nothing like that scam happening, then I think if this all is right, I think Poojaji, This time, Congress is going to be 400 par. Because if all is right, it's not going to be the Bhajpa 400 par. Then Rahul Gandhi is going to be 400 par. Yesterday, I saw a video where he was cursing people. Arey, kya ho gaya? Tum pagal ho gaye? Sab log Jai Shri Ram, Jai Shri Ram, Jai Shri Ram kar rahe ho. Kya ho raha tumhe? Then Rahul Gandhi ji, where you are rattled, you are at a exponentially best position to win this election with 400 plus seats for the Congress. So if you are going to do that, then I would agree to it. If you are not going to do that, then Poojaji, with due respect, whatever you are saying, they are a figment of your imagination. They are what is called this visual thinking.
Let's get a response from Shubh Malhotra as well. Shubh, it also boils down to just one scientific fact when you go out there to vote for somebody. It's the popular opinion that also matters. We can be discussing pointers related to unemployment and GDP and per capita and PPP, but the point of fact is that Prime Minister Modi is the most popular leader in the country today, perhaps even the world.
No, not in Delhi and Punjab, because in the last 4 elections, whenever BJP has and PM Modi has gone head-to-head with Arvind Kejriwal, he has always seen defeat. And which is something we saw.
The last time I checked, Delhi and Punjab were in India.
Which is, I'm sorry?
Well, the last time I checked, Delhi and Punjab were in India. Nevertheless, go ahead.
Of course. So wherever they have, I don't know where there was a disconnect with respect to that. But the thing being that whenever there is a head-to-head with BJP, the PM Modi has always been defeated. And if the recent trend of Punjab elections, FCD elections in Delhi are anything to go by, then the fate of BJP in at least these 2 states is written. Now, the fate of BJP in their own states is also going to be very problematic, because Aam Aadmi Party has managed to garner 5 MLAs in Punjab and managed to get the second highest number of votes in Gujarat, and managed to get the 35 seats, the second highest votes. So again, Singhasan thoda to hil raha hai, or 2024 mein everything will be apparent. Now, with respect to the unemployment data, it was very strange to see the spokesperson be so dismissive about the importance of unemployment, which is considered to be one of the foremost indicators of economic health. And by all means, it is very baffling that how come we are progressing towards a 5 trillion economy when the unemployment is at a 45-year low, which obviously begets the question that does inflation have a role to play in it? Because it obviously does. I mean, India is reeling the highest inflation in recent times, and that is what contributes to the size of the economy. So by all means, it can grow to 8 trillion, 9 trillion, but it is all only by means of inflation and no other reason. It's because everything is getting costlier, and that is what is breaking the back of the people of this country. Now, as far as Aam Aadmi Party is concerned, let me tell you that we have somehow managed to contain this inflation in Delhi, whereby the prices are almost half as compared to the rest of India, and we are able to put the money back. As far as pure economics is concerned, this is the model that Arvind Kejriwal is taking to the rest of the country with respect to free electricity, water, healthcare, a revolutionary schooling model, free buses for women, highest number of CCTV cameras, the Farishte scheme, which rewards good Samaritanism, the senior citizens who are being sent to different Teeth Yatras for free on behalf of Delhi government. And as far as the point of MSP is concerned, I think CM Bhagwant Mann has done an exceptional job with respect to just pulling BJP ministers on the table and bringing them face to face with the farmers, people who they were not willing to face. They were so afraid of them. So
okay, let's have you respond. Let's have you respond to what you've just said.
And he has done everything that...
Okay, Savio, go ahead.
But the MSP, had it been in Bhagwant Mann's hands, then the farmers would have been doing dharna in Punjab. It is actually, they're very intelligent. They are doing dharna in Delhi because it is in the central government's hands. And which is something they are laughing and doing all sorts of things about.
Let's Savio respond to what you've said. Savio is already on the ball. Savio, go ahead. Savio, you're muted.
Second, once. No, with all due respect to my fellow panelists, I just want to have some clarity of their understanding on how inflation is computed. So if they please tell me what does CPI and WPI mean, and what are their indications as far as inflation is concerned, then it becomes easier to talk. Otherwise, it becomes a rhetoric for going forward backwards. Because
what do you want? We are talking
correct.
So let him respond. Let him respond. Shubh, let him respond. Let him
now
respond.
tell me, in January 2024, what was the CPI?
What was it? You tell me. What was it?
No, so you don't know. That's what I'm saying.
No, so
What
I
was
mean,
do
are you
you know
telling
what
me?
was the CPI in
Are you
what
telling
was the
me that
CPI in
inflation
2023?
has
What was
nothing
the
to do with?
CPI in
Are you
2023?
telling me
What
that
was the
inflation
CPI
has
in
nothing to do
2023?
with
You
calculating
don't
the
even know
size of
that.
the economy?
Okay, come on, we'll go a little
Are you
backwards.
telling
What
me
was
Okay,
the
that
one
inflation
second.
CPI
has
in
Shubh,
nothing to do with
2012?
Shubh, one
calculating
second.
the size
Shubh,
of
What
the
was the
Shubh,
economy?
CPI in
Shubh, let him make
2012?
his point. Shubh, let him make his point. He heard you out. Let him make his point.
It seems like
See,
he's not making a point, but he's trying to
they
do
come here with
whataboutery.
rhetorics with absolutely no facts. You ask them what was the CPI
Trying
in
to do
Jan
whataboutery.
2024, they don't know. You ask them what's the CPI in December 2023, they don't know. If you ask them what's the CPI in December 2022, they don't know. If you ask them what's the CPI in 2012, they don't know. But they come here and they make the rhetoric. So why don't you go and study a little bit, and let me give you another idea.
So
There
you
is no
tell now,
doubt.
what is your point?
No, I'm not here to
What
educate
is
you.
your
You're a
point you tell
spokesperson.
now?
You're a
You ask
spokesperson.
me
Your education
questions,
is
but what is your
limited to your
point?
rhetoric.
What is your point?
I'm
Stop
not here to educate you.
Don't do what
Okay.
about
The
me?
CPI
What is your
for
Shubh,
January
all right, okay, we're not going to
was
get anywhere like this. We're not going
What
to
is
get
your
anywhere like
point?
this. One second, Shubh.
What is your point with the statistic?
Let him get to his point. You keep interrupting.
My
Let him
point
get to
is
his
that
point.
to understand inflation, you first need to understand the consumer price index and the wholesale price index.
All right,
And if you look at the
Savio, can
trend-
you get to the point? Can you get to your point now? Okay, considering
I
that you
am.
both know what this means, let's
But
move on.
you didn't ask me CPI and WPI. You asked me what was the data
All
in
right,
January.
well, this
Now you
cannot
tell
become
me
a
the data
dialogue
is
between two
what?
Correct.
people. Shubh and Savio, I'm going to have to move on to other guests if you're going to
You
continue
tell me
to.
the data.
No,
Shubh, please.
let me-
Last warning, I'm going to have to mute
Let me
you if
make
you're going to
my
continue.
point.
You're holding up the debate. There are people
Can
watching
I-
and there are people waiting their turn. Savio, go ahead.
Can I see? The point is, of course, there is a concern of inflation. That's the point I'm trying to make. But in order for us to make a point, they need to understand the crust of it. If you look at the desirable consumer price index that India needs to reach, it's at about 4 points. And right now we are at about 5.6. And that has come down. If you went into December 2023, it was somewhere around 5.78. So inflation is based on the prices that are happening within the consumer price index and the wholesale price index. And there are various factors that deal with it. Are we in an ideal situation right now? The answer is no. Are we in a worse situation? That answer is also no. But we have to move towards the right policies that the RBI is implementing and see that we bring down the inflation, which is being controlled by various other factors that allow for consumer prices to go up. That is really how inflation moves forward. So if you're going to compare 2012 or the last 10 years when UPA were around, that's not comparing situational points at that point of time, because the economics at that point of time was different. If you had 2008 recession, you had COVID that drained economies, and we're coming out of that. That itself will take us 5 years to come to some natural balance as far as the inflation is concerned. Those are the economics yardsticks of what's happening. Today, you have the Russia-Ukraine war that is driving up prices of crude oil, driving up prices of petroleum. That is further adding to the consumer price index as well as the wholesale price index. So are we in the right situation? The answer is no. Are we in the worst situation? The answer is no. So we have to find a way towards it. And that's what RBI is doing. Coming back to why people will vote for Narendra Modi. The reason people will vote for Narendra Modi, like I said previously, it is always about the individual impact that Modi has made through the policies to the individual person or families. And even in the last debate, when we had raised the question, we were looking at something as simple and as humane as toilets for women. In the UPA era, there were only 3 crores. In the Narendra Modi regime, there are 11 crores and counting. That is the difference. It's going to be coming down to that.
Let me bring in Pooja Tripathi into this conversation as well. Now, Pooja, is it prudent, is it wise enough to only be looking at the glass half empty in the BJP's case? You know, a number of things have worked in the last decade or so. Of course, toilets have been one. You know, the rail network, the road network, the GDP, India's international image and standing, the space program, the technical image that India has today. All of this has actually catapulted the image of the Prime Minister to a level where, it seems impossible for a lot of pundits to see him losing 2024.
My question is, who will see the glass empty and who will point out the glass empty? When you say that I am not unemployed, Xavier is not unemployed, and we are paying taxes, you are diluting the whole debate. We are looking at a dipping consumption in country. We are looking at a record high 20% of Narega demands in rural areas, a 20% increase in Narega demand. When we say we are growing, a jobless growth is what we are looking at country preparing a pyramid where the top 1% are benefiting and the lower economic strata. You're talking about poor. The dip in health and education expenditure in budget, it was below 3% in education and 2.2% in health. These are the basic fundamentals on which an inclusive country stands. And that's what we are trying to bring in the product. Don't dilute it by saying, I am paying taxes, this is paying taxes, that is paying taxes. A jobless growth country is harmful in the longer run. We cannot take leaps and bounds, leaving the poor people, leaving the 56%. You cannot say leaps and bounds and saying we are becoming Vishwaguru and you can pat yourself back on providing 80 crore people free rations. That's what I'm pointing to say. Somebody has to point out that the glass is half full, and who will be accountable for the glass half full is the person in the government, and it's the person who is claiming to come back with plus majority. Is the person who will be looking after the economic policies, is the person who has to take the health sector ahead, who has to take education sector ahead, and he has to stop patting himself back on providing free rations to 80 crore people and putting his face on the ration bag. Is the person who has to stop erecting up selfies in his 3D images on railway stations and do something for the poor people. We have denied senior citizens concession, and then we have erected Modi ji's selfies, Modi ji's standouts to take people selfie. The dichotomy of the glaring inequality that's staring at our face, that needs to be addressed, and somebody has to point out. Everything is said is right, but what I am pointing is you cannot dilute this fact that the country is staring at 45%, and this is not Congress figure, this is the PLFS figure. We are not saying this, this is the official figure. We aren't saying this because that's something the ruling government has to do. That's something policies, when we present an interim budget, when you talk about the roadmap for country ahead, nowhere else you will accuse Congress. You will take Rahul Gandhi's name 10 times. You will take Congress names 16 times. You will devote 78% of your speech time abusing Congress. What the country needs is a roadmap. What the country needs is a vision that what are you trying to do for the 45% unemployment rate in the country? What you're trying to do.
We have a paucity of time as well. Sumit Peer, please respond to that. You were the one who made that point about unemployment being measured in a certain way, but not being understood by the Congress spokesperson because, not being a part of that particular system where you are counted as employed is also a misdirection.
You see, Vinny, the first thing I want to talk about is inflation. Look, we have an inflation of 5% as we talk today. January ki baat kar raha hu, right? What is the global average inflation? The global world inflation is 4%, because if you are not have a 4% inflation, it leads to economy shrinking and then you enter a stage of deflation. This is economics. What is inflation in the United States of America? 3.5%. What is the inflation of whole of Europe? 3.47%. So mujhe bataiye, where do they find a problem? You know what is high inflation called? Turkey. Turkey is 140%. Ma'am, let me complete. Pooja ji, let me complete. Turkey is 140%. Lebanon is 120%. These are the countries where inflation is a problem. So do not try to
let him finish. Pooja, let him finish. He allowed you the courtesy.
I did not intervene.
He did not interrupt. Pooja, let him finish.
Rahul Gandhi a sultan on the basis of inflation. If you have such a compelling point and good, if you have 45% unemployment, then Modi is destined to be doomed. Nobody can make Modi win any election if you are telling. And where did you get this number from? 45% of the youth are unemployed. You tell me, if the 45% of the youth are unemployed, is it job of the government to create all the employment? What about the private sector? What about 25 crore mudra loans? What about 25 crore? What about?
If Tejasvi Yadav can create jobs in Bihar, then why can't you do it in India?
No, No. Let me tell you. Government is
Let
not
him
in the
finish.
business of
Shubh, let him finish.
Sarkari Nokri. Sarkari
Government is not in the business of
opportunities to earn. How is the GDP increasing? How is the GDP
One
increasing?
second. One
How
second.
is the
Shubh, I'll come to
complexity
you next.
increasing?
Shubh, I'm going to
What
come to you
Tejas
next.
Sweet?
Sumit,
What
finish your
Tejas
point.
Sweet? What Tejas are you talking about? How is the GDP increasing? How is your foreign exchange increasing? How is your GDP increasing if everybody is unemployed? You know, people, some political parties are perpetually unemployed. That doesn't mean the country is unemployed. You are missing what goddamn point that is that what happened to 25 crore mudra loans. When I get a mudra loan, I even start a small shop. I'm creating job opportunities.
Most of them are
to earn.
defaulters.
Opportunities.
Most
No,
of them
the
have been
defaulter is
defaulted
3%. Defaulter is 3%.
That's not true,
Most
Shubh.
of them.
That's not true, Shubh. Most of them are not
Opportunities
defaulters.
to
Most of
earn
them are not
is a job
defaulters.
in economics,
data.
not sarkari nokri. Do not mislead the country that you have to give us sarkari nokri. That is not employment.
But he's asking
Opportunities
for
to earn rozgar ke avsar.
So if you say government-
Okay, Sumit, 1 second. Let's take a response from Shubh as well. 1 second. 1 second. Shubh, go on now.
So I think I'm finding this very weird that they are saying it is not the government's job to give jobs to people.
Sarkari nokri is not the
Bihar
answer.
government can do it.
Madam,
If the RJD
what are you
government
talking
can
about?
do
Sarkari
it,
nokri
then
is
why
the answer.
can't Modi ji do it? It's a
Okay,
plan of
Shubh,
the
hold on.
Modi
How many
government.
percent of the
If they are
people does
saying that
government
we
employ
cannot
in
take care of
this?
the people of this country.
Shubh,
Delhi government
Sumit,
is
Sumit,
saying
let her,
this.
Sumit, let her finish. Let her respond, Sumit. Sumit, 1 second.
Very simple.
Sumit, 1 second.
In our
Sumit, 1
buses,
second.
in our buses,
Sumit, I'll come to you.
Delhi
Sumit, 1
government
second.
buses, which are by
1
the
second,
way
Sumit.
free for the
1 second.
people.
1 second. We're not going to get anywhere, Sumit. Hold on. Hold on to your horses, Sumit. Go on, Shubh.
Don't go all crazy listening to
not
information and data. I know it's can be mind-boggling for both of you, but don't go all crazy listening to all this. Okay, the thing
तो
being
500
that
सीट जीतने
it
वाले
is
हो।
the job of the government.
आम आदमी पार्टी
It
500
is the
सीट जीत
job-
रही है अब की बार।
Sumit, 1
Problem
second.
is-
Sumit, 1 second. Sumit, let her make a point. Let her make a point.
Give me a minute then.
No, I
I'll
will.
give
I
a
will.
very
Let
small
after she finishes.
I'll
I
give
will.
a very small example. And Delhi government has created jobs along with making a positive budget for the state. So very small example is bus marshals. Now in Delhi, and we all know how Nirbhaya Kand robbed the country. And it was decided by Delhi government that Aam Aadmi Party government, when they come to power, women's security is going to be foremost as far as their agenda is concerned, and which is why Delhi has the highest number of CCTV cameras. Even our buses have CCTV cameras. Now, what Arvind Kejriwal did, that when he announced that women are going to travel for free in the buses, the issue came up that there have been in the previous governments, there have been problems with respect to security, and which is why the job of bus marshals was created. And at the same time, not only it is feeding the people who are being employed as bus marshals, but it is also giving a
Okay,
fillip to the economy.
we've run out of time.
Why
We've
can't
run
you
out
do
of time. I'm going to give Sumit 10 seconds and Savio and Pooja 10 seconds more, and then we wrap up.
Why
10
can't you
seconds.
do this?
Arey madam,
Why can't
you
I
do
can
it?
shout better.
It's
No,
done in
look,
Delhi and Bihar.
I can
Shubh,
shout
1
better
second.
than you.
All right, no, it's not a shouting contest. It's not a shouting contest. 1
Don't do
second.
that.
Because you are
Shubh, 1
incompetent.
second.
Can you ask the,
Shubh.
can you make that for a second?
Shubh, 1 second.
अरे यार,
Shubh, we've run out of time.
500 seats, ma'am. 500 सीटें जीत रहे हो आप.
Shubh, we'll have.
What we do with 500 seats? I'm telling you on national TV. And listen to me. Vinith, since independence, the maximum number of people employed by the government of India is 3.5%. 3.5%. This is the data. Tell me it is wrong. What are you
What a
telling?
low
Government will
benchmark
create
you're setting
jobs.
for
Okay,
yourself.
Savio, 10 seconds. Then
What a
Government
low
will create
benchmark.
jobs.
all right,
Have you
okay,
thought
all
about the
right,
sense of
all right. We've
bullshit?
run out of time. I'm going to have to wrap up if you guys continue like this.
No,
1 second,
government
1 second.
will-
Savio, 10 seconds.
Sarkari nokri
1
denge
second.
sabko.
Savio, 10 seconds.
I can't talk in the noise.
10 seconds, Savio.
I can't talk in the noise.
Now you can. There's no noise.
You see, eventually, it will all boil down to the simple fact: what does the person on the ground want? The opposition spokesperson and their leaders can go on with a lot of rhetorics, and that's fine. At the end of the day, the voter will vote based on the impact to his or her life and their communities, and that will be known in the days ahead. So why should we be arguing out here?
All right.
But just for my information, please tell me why there were no toilets created for women as far as Congress is concerned. We've done 11 crore toilets in the last 10 years.
Why were toilets
Okay, Pooja,
like this
Pooja, quickly. All
already?
right. What we're going to do is we're going to wrap up now. We've completely run out of time. Let's agree to disagree. We've completely run out of time. Would like to thank each one of you. Unfortunately, that's all the time we have.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.